All right. I pressed start stream.
I guess the stream's up. I could just check YouTube and see if it's up.
It is up. I can see it now.
Sweet. I'm gonna
All right. Go ahead and light the socials up. Tell people to post questions and stuff.
That's a nice thumbnail. I like that thumbnail.
I literally just that might have even been one of the YouTube auto-generated ones. So hopefully this does well. Maybe we'll get a viewer.
A viewer. That would be sick.
A viewer would be awesome.
What do we want? Questions? Do we want?
Yeah, questions. Just have them ask questions. Would love to hear from some of the fans as part of the first Craziac cast ever. Woo! We did it. We finally started a podcast.
Woo! After, I don't know.
How many months?
Was it like, I don't know, just like 5 months? No big deal.
Oh, sweet. So, wait, one concurrent viewer. Does that mean somebody's actually on here right now?
I guess so.
Oh my gosh, it's KBJ.
No way. Bro, Keith is our first viewer on like everything. Let's go. Man. Sweet, bro.
Absolute W.
Love Keith.
Our Las Vegas audience.
Woo. I don't know. Is he back?
I don't think so. I was talking to him the other day.
Okay, he was posting about a bunch of Carolina stuff recently though, so I was like, is he back?
Hey, if you got any questions, let us know. I am down to answer literally anything and everything. I just woke up. I get push notifications for you guys. Bro, actually turned the bell on. That's quite nice. I appreciate that. So, just in general, I'm gonna start going on about the topics of discussion here, and the two big ones are currently on the screen that you guys can see in Nikolai Ehlers and Keandre Miller. Oh, here we go. Thoughts on Svetch being pushed to the second line for Ehlers? I mean, I'm not definitively sure that Svechnikov is going to become a second liner just because I'm not sure if it's him or Jarvis that'll get moved down. I could see it being either one depending on which wing Ehlers wants to play, but having Svechnikov as a second line winger, that's a pretty good second line, apart from your center.
Take that. I mean, I'd take that any day. The only reason that I think Ehlers is going to end up being on the first line over someone like Svechnikov is because he's said to the media specifically, he wants to challenge himself and he thinks that he can do more in Carolina than he ever did in Winnipeg. Now, granted, Winnipeg really didn't give him that much usage. They gave him, I believe, around 16 minutes like on ice per game. And that's not the type of usage that you should have with, the 9th overall pick from the draft that you had. So it's like he wanted to challenge himself. He wanted to be somewhere where he probably gets those first line minutes. He gets those opportunities to become his best self and his best player. And I think if you put him up with Aho and like Jarvis, maybe Svechnikov, you can really put the top 6 in any way that you want. But if you put Ehlers up on that top line, we're going to have some nice stuff happening. I mean, you remember what Marty Nate just did on the second line with that speed and taking it into the zone. Now imagine that with Aho. Like, I think we're going to have some good things happening.
I like the idea of Svechnikov being moved down instead of Jarvis because, well, let me think. Do we have a shooter on that first line? I would consider Jarvis at this point a shooter. I would not consider him a playmaker. Jarvis has put back-to-back 30-goal seasons down, and I don't think he's going to slow down in the goal-scoring department simply because Aho is a playmaker, which means that he will be more susceptible to passing the puck instead of shooting it even when the opportunity presents itself. Nikolai Ehlers, on the other hand, is about a middle of the pack. He scores a lot of goals, similarly to Aho, but he's also an elite playmaker like Aho is. You basically got 2 Sebastian Ahos out there, although I would say Nikolai Ehlers is a more hybrid Marty Necas type player, which is going to be very beneficial for the other wing, whoever that ends up being.
Oh, yeah. What I've seen from, I believe, 99.9 The Fan is that they were talking about Nikolai Ehlers and saying, "Oh, if you get Ehlers, you're playing with Aho." Like, that's a great center, first of all. And they said their quote, "Their only complaint about Sebastian Aho was that he is too much of a playmaker and not enough of a shooter." Which is like, if you're Nikolai Ehlers, why would that even be a complaint? That's great. You get to shoot the puck more. You get more goals. That's awesome.
I mean, I love that idea. I think Nikolai Ehlers maybe could transform himself into more of a shooter based off of who he's playing with here. I'm not completely familiar with the lines in Winnipeg and who he was playing with before, but I
He
think
was with Gabe Vilardi.
was he with Vilardi? So he was on the second line then. He was not playing
He
top line
was second
minutes.
line. No, he was not on top line. I think that was Kyle Connor. I
Shifley.
think Mark Shifley. Yeah.
And who's the center on that line? Or is
Let
Shifley
me
a center?
pull up their lineup.
Yeah, go ahead and pull Winnipeg's lineup.
2024. Okay. Kyle Connor, Mark Shifley, Gabe Vilardi. Okay, they have him on. Oh, but this is the updated. I don't want the updated one.
Who is
I want.
the center?
No, that's what it's saying. It's showing the updated one after Ehlers left. It's showing the current roster.
Who is their top center? So I'm trying to
It
figure
looks
out.
like Shifley was their top center. Second was Vilardi.
Okay, so
you have, yeah, the top ones were, oh yeah, because Kyle Connor's the left winger. So he
yeah.
was first one left winger, which honestly, as much as I love Nikolai Ehlers, I believe that Kyle Connor is the better left winger. You need to have him on your
Oh
first
yeah,
line.
I mean Kyle Connor is a ridiculously good player. He is
Kyle Connor, he's gonna be a free agent this year.
we have enough wingers. Please save your money for a center.
Is either him, yeah. Speaking of centers, I don't know. This is kind of weird, and I saw this the other day, and I was just like, "Why would we do this?" They said that if what's his name, Claude Giroux hit the market, that we were going to be the top bidder for him.
Isn't he like really old at this point?
He's 37.
Dodged a missile there. I don't know why we would take Claude Giroux.
Unless we're thinking it's going to be a short-term deal, and you think Ryabkin's really that good,
I mean,
to bring
yeah.
him in later.
You're
Like,
not gonna pay Claude Giroux till he's like 44.
no, not like what you did with Marchand. Different
No.
situation there.
Well, Marchand, they just front loaded his contract so they could still keep him. Florida's basically going all in on the next, I would say, 3 to 4 years to win as many cups as possible.
Pretty much, and I think their main core is locked up for the next 5 or 6 years.
They don't, of their main core, nobody's a free, other than Bobrovsky, who I consider part of their core, nobody is a free agent until at least 2030.
That's crazy.
But
gosh,
we've got to think about this. Wear and tear is a factor. Florida's team will wear down. They're going to be playing a bunch of games. They've played over 100 games in each of the last 3 seasons for the most part. Players have been injured, have been coming back, but they've also got, think about this, how many people competing on Olympic rosters are on the Florida Panthers?
a lot.
A lot. So Florida will have played the entirety of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Then you add in off-season stuff, they take a little bit of a vacation, then they come back for training camp, they play all through the season. I would say a good half of them play the Olympics. Then they come back, play more hockey, assuming they make the postseason, they keep playing, and then again, that's still gonna, that's like 10 months of hockey with barely any break for 4 years in a row by that point? Something's gonna give. Now, if
we saw it with Tampa. Tampa definitely gave.
Yeah. Now, Tampa also ran into, for my money, what is the best team of the 2020s so far in that 2022 Colorado Avalanche squad. But yeah, they
The
slowed
year
down.
after that, man.
They slowed down.
They definitely slowed down.
But I mean,
Kucherov hasn't. Kucherov's been fine.
Yeah, they lost the heart of their team in Stamkos, unfortunately for them. But at the same time, I mean, look at them. They're not falling out of the playoffs. Now, granted, you've got Kucherov, Hedman, and Vasilevsky, who for some reason just are never going to play bad. I don't think it's possible for them to play bad. They've been good every season for the most part. I mean, sure, they all have their moments. But I think as long as that core's together, it is going to be, for the most part, still playoffs. Now, I personally don't believe Tampa makes it back to the cup with that core unless they have some sort of like miracle hoorah. Make sure to check out tomorrow, for those of you that are watching, for the prediction of the next 10 Stanley Cup finals and the winners I have in there. I'm not going to drop any spoilers in here other than the one I just did about Tampa not being in that video, but there's some pretty good insight there.
Yeah, yeah.
Shout out to Jack's dad.
Woo!
But yeah, I do think Florida's going to wear it out. I don't think Bobrovsky's going to be able to keep up his miracle run the last couple of years. I think that is going, because we can both agree. I don't think the forward core is going to slow down. I don't think the defense is going to slow down. They managed to get Ekblad back along with Marchand and Sam Bennett somehow with some serious cap gymnastics.
I don't know how that happened.
Maybe we'll get some trouble in paradise at some point. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Like people keep saying that that's the secret U.S. nuclear facility. They're like,
yes, Iran, please do not attack. Please do not attack our secret nuclear facility located right here in this exact building. Please don't do that. That'd be really bad for us.
Mm-hmm. Be very, very bad for our economy. It's only one of the closest places to them anyway, because like Florida is like on the East Coast. It wouldn't be an easy target.
No, not at all. I mean,
speaking of that,
they've got to fall off at some point. When was the last time a team won 3 in a row? Was it the
first one to mind? I think was the Islanders.
I think Islanders, and that's been what, close to 40
It was
years.
80. It was like 81 to 84, I think.
So yeah, over 40 years at this point. Please don't let that happen again. I don't think it will. No. There's too much parity in the league. They will eventually fall off to someone. Also, when Miller got drafted, the comments wasn't happy with it. Is he not a good player? I don't really know about him. So we didn't draft Miller, but we did trade for Keandre Miller. And Keandre Miller is a good defenseman, I believe, whose talents were not being utilized well in New York. I know you are probably more new to hockey than we are. There's a Hurricane by the name of Brady Shea, who we got from the New York Rangers a while back. And then he was a staple on our blue line for 5 years and scored a lot of goals. Like he was more offensively gifted than Brent Burns the last couple of seasons. So, I mean, I like the addition of Keandre Miller. I think that if the training staff here can get out of him what we need to get out of him, then we will be pretty well set. I think he has great potential. Someone needs to unlock it. And again, I'm going to reference 99.9 The Fan again with Tim Donnelly. Shout out to Tim Donnelly. I like your show. But Scott Morrow was not part of the plan for the next couple of years. I don't think Scott Morrow had any chance of playing in the lineup, really. I could have seen him maybe being the 7th defenseman, but in the first and second round pick, the Rangers. Okay, so we're giving up our second round pick, which will probably be ideally would be close to 60, which is at that point you're swinging for whatever. At that point, it's not like you're going to get a guaranteed hit after probably 15 picks at this point, maybe 20. And then the first round pick is the better of 2 draft picks between us and Dallas. both of which I say have bare minimums of second-round playoff teams. So even the first-round pick, we gave up the conditional one, is not going to be in the top 20, I don't think.
Mm-mm.
I'm happy to see a Black King on the line. Not gonna... That's funny. That's a good one.
I think with Keandre Miller, it's going to be very interesting how we do the lineups because we've got another left-handed defenseman, right? So we have Slavin, Miller, Gostisbehere, and I think it was who's the other lefty that we got? Oh, Nikishin.
Nikishin.
Duh. Yeah, so we got 4 that are generally lefties. It's going to be very interesting how they end up shaking up the roster and where we end up putting them. My optimal solution was I saw a statistic from the KHL saying that Nikishin actually played 80% of his last season on his offside. So I don't know if that's crazy accurate. I saw this from somebody online, but if that is true, I would want to put him up with Slavin. I think if you can get him like later in the season, not right at the start.
Okay. About to say throwing him to the
Like
wolves.
you don't. No. You're not gonna throw him on the first line and have him play against like the crazy top liners immediately. I think you put him up there like maybe if you can get there later, but to start, I'd say like Chatfield needs to be first line with him.
Yeah,
And then
Chatfield and go ahead.
you might have like Miller and Nikishin as well as your second pairing, and then I guess you would have Ghost and Walker as your last pairing.
So I think there's 2 ways I could look at this. I think Slavin and Chatfield has to be your first pair. Slavin and Chatfield both lost their line mates this past off season. I don't think we want to experiment putting Miller on his offside. I don't think it's time for that yet. Plus, is Chatfield a better defenseman? No, I think potential wise, no. Keandre Miller has the potential to be the second best defenseman on this team. Third, if Nikishin ends up being all we thought he was going to be. Chatfield needs to be on the top pairing. And then after that, it needs to be, I would say Miller for sure. And probably Walker.
You want to break up the Gostisbehere Walker?
I don't think Ghost and Walker developed that big a chemistry last semester. Stupid. Last year. I think that of the pairings to break up, I mean, you're not gonna sit Miller with Nikishin because you're putting a guy who needs to regain his confidence and find his game with a rookie who has to find his confidence in his game. If you put those 2 together, they're only going to get 8 to 10 minutes a night, and then you're basically gonna kill Jacob Slavin. So
I mean, that's what they did in the 4 Nations face-off. They gave him like 30 minutes a game.
well, the game we beat Florida in, I'm pretty sure Burns and Slavin played like 25 and 27 minutes respectively. We cannot do that because if Jacob Slavin gets hurt for whatever reason, then we're done. Like, then your best defenseman goes from Jacob Slavin to probably Jalen Chatfield. And no disrespect to Chatfield, but Jacob Slavin's like a different breed of good defensively, and that's exactly what we need because I don't know if you've noticed, but how many would you say defensive defensemen do we have on the team currently?
Let's see. Slavin is completely defensive. Gostisbehere is offensive. Nikishin's kind of hybrid. He's kind of both. Miller's definitely an offensive guy. Yeah, it's pretty much just Slavin.
1. I mean, I guess you could put Walker in there. His defense is pretty good, but I don't think of Sean Walker as a pure defensive. I don't think of him as a defensive defenseman. Granted, nobody's going to come close to Jacob Slavin in terms of defense. Nobody in the league really. Like I see all these. It's been a really popular thing recently to post your like top 10, top 25, whatever defenseman, and it's I mean, all these guys like two-way, offensive, two-way, Jacob Slavin, and then like 20 more of those two-way/offensives, and then you get your next defensive guy who I don't even know at this point, maybe Gustav Forsling.
I think that's about right. I've seen him around like 16 and maybe like I think I've seen him around 21 and 22
Whereas
before as well.
Slavin could. I mean, I'm biased. I'm a Canes fan. Slavin is like what?
I've seen tier lists with him ranging. Generally, the range is anywhere between 3 and like 9.
Yeah, I've seen him. He's top 10, no doubt. I think his ceiling is 3. I don't. There's no way I could put Jacob Slavin above Cale Makar or Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else that I think is just definitively outright better, than Jacob Slavin without contest?
The only person that I can think of right now, and I don't know. I mean, I can think of Zach Werenski.
I was gonna say that would be the only other person I would say has an argument for it. But other than that, like, put Jacob Slavin in there. I saw someone have like Evan Bouchard above him. Like,
bro, you didn't bring that up, man. The Evan Bouchard offer sheet would have been crazy.
Dude, could you imagine?
We almost sent the poison pill to freaking Edmonton.
Could you imagine though how good a first pair would have been if we had oh my gosh, Slavin and Bouchard? Dude,
that would have been
that would be the best. That would be like, for my money, that's the best defensive pairing in the entire NHL.
Yeah.
Like, you have the most probably the most pure offensive defenseman in the entire league with the most pure defensive defenseman in the entire league. So that would have been really
so interesting.
It would, like, just to see that and see like how those two would have worked together would have been hilarious. I'm kind of glad that didn't happen though, because they paid him what, 10.5?
Well, they paid him 10.5 because we offered 9.5.
Or did we offer 10.5 and then they matched it?
No, we offered 9.5, and they said so that we didn't offer sheet him when it happened. They offered him more.
Oh, okay.
So they offered him $1 million more before free agency even opened, and that's where my entire McDavid conspiracy came through, because I thought that was so funny. Which I'll explain it real quick.
Go for it.
So my idea is, what if we didn't actually want Evan Bouchard? What if the Canes were just trying to put the Edmonton Oilers into a bigger pit than they were already? So Evan Bouchard just got paid $10.5 million. We offered him 9.5. They knew that they wanted to keep their best defenseman because it's their best defenseman. Of course they want to keep him.
Arguable.
So, well, Darnell Nurse is...
Ekholm.
Ekholm's pretty good too. But you wanted to keep that kind of guy.
Oh, yeah.
And with Edmonton's defensive struggles in the past, they don't want to fall back into those weaknesses again, especially after you just made the Stanley Cup twice in a row. So, of course, they're going to pay that kind of guy. And when you get them to do that, now about 50% of their cap is in 4 players, with Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, Darnell Nurse, and Evan Bouchard. Well, that doesn't leave much room for depth. The depth is just gone off the charts, and it switches pretty much every year, the bottom 6 with Edmonton. Of course, as you can see, like, Jeff Skinner just left for San Jose.
Yep.
And they
Connor
just
Brown went to
went
Jersey.
Yeah, so it's like
Corey Perry.
It's all these different.
Went to LA.
Yeah, Corey Perry too.
Dude, we want to talk about a dumpster fire. LA is gonna suck this year, I think. I think this is the year.
LA had like the worst offseason,
dude, that
I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh. But I'm not gonna get into that one too much.
They were thinking.
All right. I got one more comment. We got 2 more comments. Slavin
go ahead.
Slavin play in the NJ playoffs still lives rent free in my head. Yeah. Which one? Oh, the Slavin play where he undressed. Was it Steph Nason?
Stephen Nason.
Oh my gosh, dude. He undressed Nason. And that was such a beautiful goal too.
It reminded me, I think it was 2023
versus the Islanders.
The game opener or something, like the season opener. Slavin made that same shot, top shelf. And I was just like, where did that come from? I thought you were a defensive guy.
He did it versus the Islanders in the playoffs during one of those Islanders series too. I can't remember which one.
It seems like every year, for no reason, we always get this one shot from the far side and it goes up. I remember Vincent Trocheck did it. Jordan Staal did it. Drury did it. I'm just like,
KK did it.
what? KK did it too. It's like, for some reason, that shot happens every year and it goes in for the Hurricanes in the playoffs.
Hey, we will absolutely take it. All right.
Who do we think is going to be this year? I'm betting on Seth Jarvis.
All right. Avery McCullough, I think I pronounced that correctly, says love it. No context, but yeah.
Hi, Avery.
And then Avery.
I'm sorry, I'm not on Fortnite with you right now.
Oh, okay. Says Edmonton isn't making the final next year and probably not even the Western Conference final. So who do you have in the Avery? Who do you have in the Pacific above them? I mean,
Vegas is the only one that can contest right now.
I think Vegas could be it.
I mean, they got Mitch Marner this offseason. You got to think about that. But
then again, Mitch Marner is a historic playoff dookier.
Well, yeah, but he's playing with Jack Eichel now, so things can change.
I mean, you really think?
Vegas,
dude, this is what Mitch Marner in the playoffs reminds me of. I don't know if that went through or not.
I don't think it did.
That was actually very loud on my end.
Okay, yeah.
Vegas is my clear front runner out of the West. Avery says, and then KBJ says Vegas with a orange heart. So I guess that makes sense. Vegas is probably the strongest team in the West, I would say at this point. Not the West. Sorry, the Pacific. The Pacific.
Strongest in the
Pacific. I think they're the third strongest team in the West.
Depends on what Colorado. I think Colorado is like about to start falling off. In my opinion.
I don't think. Oh, the sound. Okay, so at least it played through the stream. I've never tried that before, so at least I know that works. That's good. Hopefully the volume wasn't too terribly loud. Maybe I have my headphones turned up quite a bit because the audio mixing levels and all this stuff is kind of weird. Well, let's think about it. In the Pacific, I still give it to I still give it to Edmonton, I think. Okay, I'm gonna back up. Conditionally, I give it to Edmonton. Because if they trade McDavid at the trade deadline, because I think we can agree on one thing. Connor McDavid is not hitting the free agent market.
Likely not.
Edmonton would be stupid to let Connor McDavid hit the free agency market. So one of two things is going to... I feel like he will have a contract probably by the trade deadline, would be my guess. Or traded. Because the haul that Edmonton could get for Connor McDavid is worth so much more than waiting to see if he re-signs in free agency. I mean, I guess you could pull a... I guess he could do what Marner did. I don't see that happening. But that could happen. You could have him get traded after the season's over if he decides like, hey, I'm not going to sign here at Edmonton. But I don't see him leaving Edmonton. I don't. Why would he? If I'm Connor McDavid, why would I leave a team that's made back-to-back cup finals? Granted, I've lost both of them, but I've lost them to a really, really good and dominant Florida Panthers team who has not lost to anybody in the last 2 years and only lost to Vegas in the last 3 years.
Currently, Connor McDavid does not have a no-move clause.
That's because it's insane for Edmonton to even think about moving him. He's gonna get the
he has no no-move clause.
Yeah, he's gonna get the biggest contract in NHL history from whatever team signs him. I still think that the Oilers are probably the favorite to land him.
$6 million if you trade a couple players.
What, for us?
Well, that's what I was talking about earlier before we started talking about the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we think Connor McDavid would
on Instagram, like on the Craziac page? I will give you the full rundown of the McDavid prophecy, what I think might happen.
The McDavid prophecy. We're over here running up Evan Bouchard's caps. Edmonton has less money for their top guys next year.
Trust. This is all part of the plan. It's Kotkaniemi is going back. Send him to Canada.
Send him back to Canada. Here's one thing I want to talk about, and I think this is a like double-edged sword in a way. I think the salary cap going up as fast as it is not a good thing.
Yeah,
It's
I think
less movement. Like the thing that makes some things exciting, sports exciting, I would say one, if your team is a contender and are constantly winning and getting to like championship series and stuff. So like if you're Florida, Edmonton, and Dallas and Carolina right now, those 4 teams I'd say are the 4 best teams in hockey. Maybe Colorado if they get their stuff together.
Marty Natchez.
Yeah, he's leaving. He's not staying there. But it's that. And then the other thing that makes sports exciting is, especially in like some other leagues, is how players move. And so if you get players moving around, there's a change in scenes. It gives people reason to like get to know players and stuff. So in moving people around, you create more excitement as a league. The problem with the salary cap going up as much as it is, and this is not a problem for anything more than I'd say centers. The problem is the center market stinks now because teams have money to re-sign their centers. Mikael Granlund, however you say his name, just got $7.5 million for what is basically a glorified third line center role. That is insanity.
Yep. And I think Pew Suter was the only other really good center.
And I think he went to St. Louis.
He went to St. Louis. Yeah.
I don't know how much he got, but he probably got a haul too because the center market stunk.
It did. It really did.
What's up, Devin? All right, I got a couple more. The trade deadline is going to be very interesting. I agree because the free agent class for this next offseason is loaded. Granted, last year it was too, but most of the players got traded or re-signed. So the free agent market stunk. Let's see what else we got here. In my opinion, if Edmonton traded McDavid, it would be to a bottom 5 team. See, I think there's context with this. Because if you pack McDavid up and send him to a bottom 5 team with promise, maybe so. Like, I right now am super high on the San Jose Sharks. I think McDavid to the Sharks would be very interesting. I could see that happening. But I'm not seeing McDavid go to the Chicago Blackhawks or definitely not Nashville. They're a dumpster fire. Pittsburgh's in a tank. They're not going to get any better for a couple years. So I think the only team in the bottom 5 consensus that I could see McDavid going to is San Jose. And that's simply because San Jose is going to be a good team in a couple of years, and we know that for certain.
With Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith carrying that team.
And Michael Misa.
Got Misa too.
I mean, they're going to have to get some defensemen. I don't think Dmitry Orlov at $6.5 million is going to cut it.
Their highest paid defenseman.
Their highest paid defenseman is Dmitry Orlov.
I just saw a post about it. He's their highest paid defenseman at $6.5 million.
Bro, Dmitry got his bag. Oh my gosh.
Anyways, with the free agents for next year, currently here's the list: Connor McDavid, Artemi Panarin, Carey Price at 39, Sergei Bobrovsky, Jack Eichel, Alex Ovechkin, Kirill Kaprizov, Cale Makar, Patrick Laine, Trouba's whatever, John Carlson, Shea Weber, Jason Robertson, Kyle Connor, Anze Kopitar,
McDavid,
Ryan McDonough, Marty Natchez. I said McDavid first.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Matthias Ekholm, Evgeny Malkin, Jacob Markstrom, Zegras, Nick Schmaltz. That starts to fall off. You got Evander Kane, Alex Wemberg, JG Pajot.
Just a monster
Alex
class.
Tuck. It's real. Logan Cooley's a freaking free agent. He's an RFA, but still. Like we got a ton of people in here. Kirby Doc.
All right, Got a
Eric
couple more
the
to get
GOAT
to
Eric
here.
Holla.
But the comments are flying in. All right,
Sweet.
KBJ, maybe we're going to see the same 4 to 6 teams in the Final Four. I mean,
That's what we saw last year and this year. It was the same 4 teams.
Of those 4, who do you think is the most likely to fall out? I think of the 4, we'll say of the 4 finalists from this year, Edmonton.
It's interesting, honestly.
They didn't address their goalie. They've still got Stu Skinner as their goalie.
They had 2 like Linsanity runs from Stu Skinner.
They're not going to get a third one. Let's just shoot it
not.
straight. So I think we will see the same 4 to 6 teams. I also think that, again, Florida will eventually going to fall off. That was not English. Florida will fall off. That they will eventually hit their peak, and then injuries and stuff will catch up, and they'll fall down. I think that could be this year. I would not bet on it. I think they've probably got one more year of being like strong Stanley Cup champs, and then they're gonna fall off. But yeah, I think this will be the year that this is Devin. I think this will be the year that will make or break the Canes when it comes to their development. I don't see a better farm system right now. So in terms of the prospect pool, I think we drafted good. So I think after a couple dud drafts, so far this one's looking good. But you're right. In terms of our prospect pool currently, how many guys do you trust to come up and make an impact in the NHL? Currently.
If we're excluding Nikishin.
Yes, excluding Nikishin because he's a roster player.
I'm going to say Nadeau. That's definitely one.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you'd have to say instantly right now, unless you're gonna say like better than Jankowski, like with Robidaw. I don't know what you're gonna say.
That's it. I mean, I feel like right now you have one serviceable prospect to put in the NHL. So yeah, the farm system, we're still a young team. And the draft was good. I think we'll catch up. All right, Avery. San Jose is going to be really good sooner than we think. I agree. I think San Jose, people are saying they're still going to be a bottom feeder this season. I don't think that. I think their defense won't be good, but I think their offense will be really, really good. I could see San Jose being somewhere between 20 and 24.
I think that's the same narrative with the Anaheim Ducks this year. Because I think the Ducks are going to be a lot better.
That's true. The Ducks are not a bottom feeder anymore either. All right, well, here's the question.
I think they're going to be fringe wild card this year.
Yeah, I think they're going to compete for it. How are we feeling about the Rangers and Islanders after their massive fall off? I see them either as big buyers or sellers this year. So New York, I can't even say New York. The Islanders, I think, they handled their situation so good because they lucked into the first overall pick and took a pretty good defenseman. Not generational, I would say, but a good defenseman, which is the hardest position to get really good at. So that was huge for them. They got picks 17 and 18, somewhere like that, for Montreal, for Noah Dobson, who was not happy with the situation in New York and probably is older than their age range for when they will contend again. So I like them.
Also the defenseman in that trade.
I like what they did there. I think the Islanders have set themselves up good to be a playoff team again in probably 4-ish years if things go right. And that could jumpstart because the Islanders will not be good this year, I do not believe, which means they could be in contention for McKenna. And getting Gavin McKenna would put you immediately, I think, close to a playoff spot. McKenna's the best prospect we've seen since McDavid. So
you think that's over? You think that's over like Celebrini Bedard then?
Yes. But I never understood the Bedard hype. He's good. He is not as good as people say. As for the New York Rangers, I don't think they're setting themselves up good. I don't.
They're in a weird spot.
Yeah, they are, because they're in like the same spot that my Seattle Seahawks are in, where you're like good, but not good enough to contend. But you're not bad enough to tank and sell off everything either. So you've still got Panarin, who I believe is a UFA at the end of this season. You've got Gavrikov signed for 7 years. For I would say mostly laterals, maybe slight upgrade over Keandre Miller, current Keandre Miller. It's very likely the next year Keandre Miller ends up being better defensively than Gavrikov, but I digress. You've got an old-ish core with Trocheck, Zibanejad, Panarin. Fox is probably getting up there, I would imagine. So I don't think I think the Rangers are probably buyers this year, trying to squeeze 1 to 2, trying to at least squeeze this year out because they very well could take a hit after this year. And you've got now the thing that the Rangers have is a solid goalie who was perennially great in Igor Shesterkin. So I don't foresee either of them being playoff teams. I think the Rangers are better set now to bounce back. I think the Islanders are better set up for 3 to 4 years from now when some of the prospects they just drafted become full-time NHLers. All right, I'll let you get this one. If Schaefer hits his strides and plays to the expectations that New York wants him to, I 100% expect him to be involved in the trade market before the deadline as well as free agency.
So we're expecting a line like the Islanders to make the playoffs then. I don't think Bo Horvat's going to lead you to the playoffs, especially after what New York did at last year's trade deadline, basically just selling. I don't know. Before the New York Islanders won the draft lottery and got the first overall pick, I remember talking with everyone about how New York was in the downfall and they were going to be bottom feeders very quickly, and they weren't going to be in the playoffs for the next 6 years. But because they got the first overall pick, it seems like people have changed the narrative, especially with the Noah Dobson trade and getting a lot of players. I think they did cut it down by a little bit shorter of a time, but I don't think they're going to make the playoffs for at least 4 years, just because you have to get the prospects to actually start playing like NHL players. And granted, you got the first overall pick, but it's not like Connor McDavid brought their team to the playoffs instantly. So
he might have.
It wasn't that quick, and that was also because they already had Draisaitl.
That's true. Edmonton loaded up on early picks. They were. That's why right now I'm saying the San Jose Sharks are going to be so good. All right, Devin says Edmonton is most likely to fall out. I agree. Florida's fall off will be exclusively officiating or injuries. I can also see Bob falling off just like Vasi. It's hard to be a solo goalie going 4 straight cups. That is one thing we did not mention. But the wear and tear on Sergei Bobrovsky absolutely could catch up because he's playing 90% of the games. I mean, who is Florida's backup currently? I have no idea.
Let me check. I think there was a pickup in free agency.
Was it Vanacek? I mean, it was Vanacek. I don't think it is anymore. I'm pretty sure he went somewhere else. They traded Spencer Knight, dude. That was like longevity-wise, that was such a bad idea. We'll see if it pans out in Chicago, though, because I don't trust Chicago's defense to make Spencer Knight look like a good goalie either.
Their backup goalie for the upcoming season is Daniil Tarasov.
Oh, it's Tarasov. That's right, from Columbus. Nope. So Bobrovsky's going to have to carry him. All right, the Rangers need to trade Panarin at the deadline. I agree, Avery. I think that Panarin could be a good... How old is he, though? He's not that old.
He's 35.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well, never mind. His trade value is probably not there.
34.7, I guess. I don't know.
And he's not.
If he keeps scoring, that's a good deadline pickup if you want to.
Yeah, but he's not. He's not a center though. So how much can he command as a 35-year-old? I mean, Artemi Panarin will still command a lot because he's a good player. We're talking.
And will you actually be able to take his contract because he's getting paid $11.6 million?
Whew. But that's a rental. So we're talking Florida injuries. If Anderson is injured, are we making it as far as we did this season? We made it pretty far. We did good during the regular season without Freddie Anderson whenever he got hurt. So I could see us doing all right during the regular season without Freddie Anderson. I don't think we're as good, but we're at a point now. I mean, similarly to Florida, we're playing a lot of games every season because we're having a bunch of extras for playoffs. So if Freddie Anderson, I mean, let's be serious. We as Canes fans, as much as we love the dog on Freddie Anderson for not playing a bunch in the regular season, it's kind of worked out because in the playoffs, he's more fresh than anybody else. And he's been pretty good in almost every playoff run we've had. So
Yeah,
I don't.
the only time that he's not is when we play, Florida, because it's Florida and it's Florida.
Yeah.
So.
I think we need to make defensive adjustments on Florida too. They've got a style that we need to figure out how to beat. All right, Panarin and Trocheck I see as both trade pieces. How old is Trocheck? Is he like 31?
Trocheck is younger, but he's not like crazy. He's
No.
also in like the 4th year of his deal this year. In a 7-year deal. Sorry, I should
I
probably make
guess,
that.
Devin, I think Trocheck is going to depend on where the Rangers are at the
He's
trade
32.
deadline. 32. Okay, so if the Rangers are really bad, like really bad, like if they fall to where they don't have a chance at making the playoffs, I could see them going, okay, we need to recoup assets here and just dump some stuff off. The Rangers are not an old team, but most of their like top players are pretty old. Granted, they have done a horrendous job at drafting recently, or
They've also
developing. Sorry, they've
done bad with developing. They've done okay with drafting, and the players that they have that they had as part of their big team. Right, I watched a video on New York Rangers. They and the fall off of them. Basically, what they said was as soon as they traded Jacob Trouba, just like that, they fell off.
Yeah,
because as much as Jacob Trouba was like maybe not your best player, he's the captain of the team. You don't trade the captain midseason. Like, I understand there's issues there, but at the same time, if you trade your captain, you trade Chris Kreider, you're getting rid of like the players that everyone in New York loves.
Yeah,
and it really hurts the locker room more than you see.
All right, moving on. Piotr is a regular season merchant, and we do have 3 to 4 prospects, some with NHL experience waiting. I don't think those prospects are good enough to crack the roster based on what we have currently. That's why I say we only have one NHL ready prospect. To be sure, some of these prospects could play on other teams. I just don't think they could play on the Canes. Both have been told they could be okay. In terms of I'm assuming this is for Panarin and Trocheck. Both have been told they could be traded based off their contracts and extensions. So I can see either being moved by deadline if something doesn't click. I agreed. That's kind of what we just covered. Vitek is the same as Spencer Martin, career journeyman. No.
I think Vitek's a bit better.
He is. Because Spencer Martin's journeyman thing has been top AHL goalie, whereas Vitek's has, for the most part, been NHL backup. So I would say I would take Vitek over Spencer Martin, but Vitek's also going to command more money and not be stellar for you. All right, I think we're almost caught up in the comments. Last one. Most of these by Devin, by the way. Shout out for giving us all the questions. I like answering these.
I thought for a second, I'm like, I've got to look at the viewers. I wonder how many people are on here, and it still says 3. I'm like, man, they're commenting a lot today.
I know. When they traded Trouba, they lost the locker room. They had a team-only meeting 2 days prior to his trade. They fell apart after. Why did the Rangers want to get rid of Jacob Trouba? Was it his contract wasn't great, but trading your captain mid-season, has that ever worked successfully? Like, I just feel like
knowing the last time that was.
I mean, what would happen if the Canes up and decided in December to trade Jordan Staal?
No, you don't do that.
No, you don't. You don't trade your captain. I don't care how bad. I mean, who was the Flyers captain that one year? Where he got sat out. Was it Couturier? I don't know who it was. But there was a Flyers captain who did not get along with the front office and stuff. He didn't get traded, but they made him sit out. Like, he was a healthy scratch for some games. You don't trade your captain. There are certain things you cannot measure, and the leadership your captain gives to your team is not one of them.
Just not. You don't do that.
Who would even take Jordan Staal? I mean, that's just a hypothetical. I was just comparing. It's not comparing directly to, but I don't think anybody would take Jordan Staal.
Not at this age, especially not a younger team.
No,
like that's wanting to compete. So there's no real.
I don't want to trade Jordan Staal. He's a good captain.
He's a good captain, and he's also a good defensive forward. That line, that defensive third line, and I saw from another video. Once Jordan Martinook and Jordan Staal, and that line like starts to retire and it starts to like fade out, you will realize how important that line was
Oh,
to
yeah.
our team. Because that is our lockdown defensive line.
Honestly,
Jordan Martinook and Jordan Staal. I saw a list on this earlier today, actually. The best defensive forwards in the NHL. In the top 10, number 3 was Jarvis, which is really crazy to talk about.
as a
But
winger.
it makes sense statistically, is what they were saying. And they also had, I think it was at 7 and 9, they had Martinook and Staal.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Let me try and round things up here. We definitely covered a lot on here. A lot of stuff that was not Hurricanes based too. That's kind of nice. For those of you that are still left in the live stream, put in chat real quick if you enjoyed this and you want to see us continue to do these, because this was definitely a experimental thing. I enjoy answering y'all's comments and stuff. I think that this is a good way to build a sense of community. So if you guys enjoyed this, let me know. I'll give you guys a minute or two to answer.
Yeah, and generally it takes a minute for the stream to catch up anyways, so. But yeah, I've enjoyed this. This is fun. I like talking hockey, especially when there's people that want to talk about hockey.
This would be a good way to do like an interview or something. We wanted to lock one of those up sometime. Bring somebody else on here.
Yeah, I don't know how that works on YouTube necessarily, but we could just permissions on the Discord. So
yeah, we probably have to do it on Discord if we wanted to interview like someone, not one of, or if we wanted to interview someone from like the team or whatever, we'd probably have to do something more professional. But either way, I know how to set all that up now. This was it took me a little bit to figure out how to get this on YouTube. Discord is not the easiest thing to stream through, so but we worked it out. I think the stream was pretty successful. I think we answered a lot of people's questions. We might be able to do this with more people next time. So if one of you guys in the chat wants to join the next stream, let me know. Most of you are probably in the Discord. All of you obviously have access to the YouTube, so leave a comment somewhere if you're interested. But yeah.
And yeah, if you're watching this later, go ahead and comment. We'll come back to this video.
Absolutely. That'll be saved under live videos, I believe. So I don't think this is going to show up with the rest of the videos, but if you go to the live section, I'm going to make sure that this shows up as live, as a previous live stream, just so, everybody that watched can go back and watch it again, or people who missed it and want to go hear our thoughts on stuff can go back and watch it.
Yeah. And maybe like put in the description like what we've talked about.
You can do that.
Or something like that. Yeah. Because people might want to search like, oh, Keandre Miller, what's happened there? Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well, for those of you that are still here, thank you guys for watching the live stream. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't know if there's a like button down below. I'm back in my general YouTuber sense of telling people what to do at the very end of a video. But yeah, check out the Instagram page. If you have not already filled out the poll of the top 10 Canes players ever, I think that's probably up for a little bit longer. It might already be down, but
you can, if you want it, I might do one more repost on it just in case, but I'm pretty sure you guys have probably all done it since like there's already a lot of people that have filled it out. So
new video coming out tomorrow. Me predicting the next 10 Stanley Cup champions. Hope you guys enjoy that one too. And then yeah, we will do our reaction video to ranking the top 10 Canes of all time. So we will see you guys later. Thanks again for watching, and peace out.